Okay, this is a working saddle. It's a hard seat so that the padding won't go and be uncomfortable when you sit in the saddle very long time. In this working saddle there is also the back cinch, and it's because the saddle is long, and if you tie your rope here and you might have a calf in it, so the back cinch will prevent the saddle to get up from the back behind. And since the Western saddles don't have any padding under here, so here is a sheepskin so that it won't glide from the pad, but we always need a padding. And since this saddle is slightly too wide for the horse, so we have this pad which is thicker here in the front until here, like 1/3, and then it's a normal pad back here. And when you have a back cinch, you always have to have this connecting strap, because otherwise when you tie up this, it could go there or get stuck or something. So it's always very important. And on this right side we have this billet, and this is called the half-breed. And the half-breed, you put it like this, first in the buckle, then like a double through here in the saddle, and then back to the cinch and back to the buckle. And the cinch here is also very traditional. It's mohair, and the mohair is always good for the horse because it's natural and it will breathe through here, and when the horse hair gets stuck here, it will only make it better. The more you use, the better it gets. And the stirrups are pre-twisted. You can see that this is rounded here, because otherwise the stirrups would lie like this, and then you have to twist it when it's new. But when you have the pre-twisted stirrups, your ankles will never be sore. And always the place where the saddle is lowest, this is the part where the rider sits, and it's very important for even for the working saddle that you can move the stirrup leathers so that you can really get your heels under your seat bones. And now I'm going to turn the horse around and show from the other side how to put the cinch. And we'll turn the horse. Show you how to put up the cinch. Always put the front cinch first. And since this is a little bit short, I have to put it a little bit more down from the other side. This. And always before I take the saddle off, I put the tie strap. This one on the left side, which I'm going to tie the cinch around the horse, is called the tie strap. So it's always like that, so that when I reach for the girth, it's easy to pull here. And then the cinch goes back. And then one more time in here, in the buckle. So that always this part where it's attached is going to be inside. And then it will be safe and won't get off and do anything else. And then we just snug a little, and then we have this horizontal hole here in this little piece of leather, and we put the strap down here. And even better it is to put from the down here, downside, come back and put it back again. Like this, it will not get off, and it will stay nicely here. These straps are for the raincoats or blankets or whatever you might have to hand with the horse while you are doing something. And this is the fat horse, so I have to let that go down in here as well. And if the back chinch is used, it's supposed to be quite snug. So and the hole here. And put it here. So you can just put a hand here, nothing more. So it needs to be tight so that you will keep the saddle in place. So now the saddle is quite well and it stays like that. And I'm going to add a breast strap on the saddle as well. Here we have a 100-year-old working saddle, which is quite okay with the length. It will be the tree behind the last rib here. And it's otherwise okay, but if this is too narrow as well, it will hit the shoulder blade. And when put in a proper place, it's supposed to be a little bit further here, and then it will come on the shoulder. And if we put it here so that it is behind the shoulder blade, then the girth would go this way. So it will go so much back that the saddle will glide forward and turn the hair upside down. So this is not good for this horse either. Now we have this cutting saddle on the horse. And it's very obvious that the saddle is too long, even though that the tree goes here and ends here, but still it's more farther back than the last rib. It's also narrow, so it will pinch here. It has a lot of space here because of the tree, because the tree is not wide enough for this horse. And last but not least, the girth is going down here, where it's going to move anyways forward and pull the saddle forward when ridden. So this saddle is absolutely not good for this horse. After I have done this form from the horse, so that I know what, how wide the saddle is supposed to be and what is the curve here of the spine, I will sit on this wooden horse first with the client, so that I can see that the person has enough of space. And the western saddle is measured from inside the seat, from inside the front wall and the back wall, so that the space is how much space is for the rider. So this is a 16-inch saddle. And it's very important, even in a western saddle, very often they are, or used to be, so that the stirrup is very much in the front, when the rider can't do anything else but sit in a chair seat. But nowadays the saddles are made more for riding properly and training, so the movability of the stirrup leather is pretty good. And you can see also that in this saddle it's cut out here, so it will let the rider go even closer. This saddle does not have pre-twisted stirrup leathers, so you see it is along the side of the horse, and then they need to be twisted before you start to ride it. And then when they are twisted, then it will stay like this in a 90-degree angle. One of the very important pieces of the saddle is this little piece of leather that is called the hobble strap. and this strap will keep the stirrup close, so that even when you might accidentally fall off or got stuck in a stirrup, the stirrup won't go like this. So it'll stay here. And if this piece is too long, then we will just fold it up and put it back with this strap. On a new saddle, you're supposed to, before you start riding or putting any oil on it, you should wet this with warm water, and then you just turn it like this when it's wet, and then you let it dry like this, and then when you let it out, the stirrup leather will be nice, and then it will stay forever. But if you put the oil first and then try to twist it, then it won't work, because the oil will restore the place, and it will the leather has a memory, so it will always turn back and make your ankles very sore. This saddle has just one D-ring, so it's very simple to put, so there's only one way to put it. But always so that this part will be inside. So you get it through the buckle, back here, to the pin, and then back again. And the rider should always sit on the lowest part. There should always be a little bit space here, so that you can move your seat backwards, but your seat posts are supposed to be like almost like here, and then you can have your stirrups and the heels under your seat bones.